Thanks, pal. I'll take it from here on in.
No problem.
Hey. Right this way? I'm trying to keep a low profile here, you understand? We like to go in quiet.
Could we get some attention here?
That's Don Amici, is an old Chicago shoeshine man who gets mistaken for the most powerful man in the mafia in Things Change, the new film from David Mamet. It's one of 5 new movies we're going to be reviewing this week on Siskel and Ebert. And I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times.
And I'm Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune. Things Change is a very different but surprisingly engaging film from David Mamet, who typically deals with dark and devilish characters in such plays as Glengarry Glen Ross and such films as last year's real winner, House of Games. In Things Change, Mamet tells, though, a fairy tale, a sweet, funny one about the mafia, with Joe Mantegna playing a low-life mob flunky assigned to guard Don Amici, playing a poor shoeshine man who looks like a mafia boss about to go to jail. Amici agrees to take the mobster's place in jail for 3 years in exchange for his life's dream, which is just a boat. Meanwhile, Joe Mantegna, with a spare weekend, has an idea how to have fun with this old man, Amici. Go to Lake Tahoe and live it up.
2 days, you understand? Little fun, little memory, then back to Chicago.
Back to Chicago. I shoot the sun in the heart.
And when I say it, out here, do it.
You the boss.
I am the boss.
As they check into their hotel, a desk clerk assumes that Amici is a big shot, and Mantegna goes along for the first-class ride.
Good morning, gentlemen. How good to have you with us. Shall we go right up to the room? We're going upstairs.
We'll be going to the Criterion floor.
Like all fairy tales, this one must end, and things get tight when the 2 men have too much fun.
Get your stuff. We're out of here. We're going back to Chicago.
I can't go back.
Who the hell do you think you are? I stepped out of channels. I put myself out for you. What did you do for me? What did I say? Stick by my side. One thing. And you couldn't do it.
Joe Mantegna is wonderful in the more flashy performance, but Don Amici really steals this picture with his role as the simple man with simple desires in a world of glitz and power. His philosophy of life, it turns out, holds the key to this thoughtful, funny, beautifully acted movie, which really sneaks up on you and wins you over in a big way. Credit David Mamet, too, for directing cleanly, and credit Mamet's writing partner, Shel Silverstein. He's probably the one responsible for the sweet tone to one of the year's best picture.
I love this movie, too, and I agree with you that it's Don Amici and that character and the way it's written, because even though a whole deception is being played on the mob, the way that, you know, a basic Hollywood assembly line movie would have done it would have been for these guys to go in there and try to fool the mob into thinking that they deserve this free ride. This movie does it with such subtlety because they go in there, they're mistaken for somebody, and then all Amici does, Amici never really quite understands the whole situation. All he knows is he's honest, he answers honestly, he's warm, he extends himself to Robert Prosky, who's great as the mob boss, and things happen naturally. That's the joke of the movie, is that if you play it straight and decently, it works better than if you try to outsmart people.
That's the way to get things to change. And the finish of the film is one that sticks around in your mind. It's a very subtle thing. I won't even dare tip it, but it's the kind of thing. I saw this film a couple of months ago, and it has stayed in my mind and gotten better and better. I can't wait to see it again.
Well, I just saw it the other day, and this film, like House of Games, shows that Mamet has so much fun with the manipulation of the plot. It's for smart people who can really enjoy that the movie is outsmarting.
What's nice is in House of Games, he was really showing the dark side of human nature. Here he's showing a much lighter side, and that's great.
Right, it's a good movie. Okay, next movie, and our next movie is a war movie that's like the war movies they used to make back in the days before every scene had to symbolize some sort of great metaphysical truth. This is a lean, no-nonsense film about a high-ranking Air Force officer trapped behind enemy lines with a solo spotter pilot as his only link with home. The movie's named Bat-21, and it stars Gene Hackman as a desk colonel in Vietnam who decides to go along on a mission one day. He's watching everything with a cup of coffee in his hand when suddenly he's shot down. He's part of the action. On the ground, Hackman uses a portable radio to communicate with Danny Glover, who plays a spotter pilot named Bird Dog. And Bird Dog brings him some bad news.
Bat-21, your pickup may be delayed. The area is still too hot.
Negative. It's got to be today. Damn it.
I repeat, area is still too hot.
It's a war zone. Damn it. What do you expect?
Relax, Bat-21. We'll get you on the first flight.
Back at the base, Bird Dog grows obsessed with the thought of the colonel out there alone in the jungle. The rescue becomes his personal obsession.
Man, I got to go up again. I got to find him.
She's just spending more time in the air than on Mother Earth. You look like hell.
Trying to walk back to a better pickup point, the solitary America meets a kid on a bridge. A little later in the film, it's the other side of the coin in one of the film's most painful scenes when Hackman kills a Vietnamese in self-defense. He's a military man, but this was the first time he has ever killed.
He wasn't even a soldier. He just kept coming. I couldn't stop him.
I understand.
I didn't want to do it. I never had to do anything like that before in my life.
Bat-21 is really a very simple movie. The colonel is on the ground, Bird Dog is up in the air, the enemy's all around the area, and the rescue had better come quick because the U.S. is going to have a big bombing raid designed to stop Viet Cong movements to the south, and if the colonel doesn't get out of there, the bombs are going to fall right on him. The relationship between the two men is carried out entirely by radio, and there is something pathetic and yet effective and even emotional about the fact that this colonel, this guy who's been pushing papers for his whole military career, describes his movements to the pilot by creating an imaginary golf course right there in the jungle and then describing what hole he's playing in order that the pilot can know where he is among the trees. The performances are good, but of course you expect that from Hackman and Glover. Bat-21 tells one small story from the war, but it tells it very well.
I know it's based on a true story,
Yeah.
but that didn't mean anything to me. I was disappointed in the film. These are two of my favorite actors. I didn't buy either character. I suppose if I had to pick one, the Glover's character's dedication to his mission seemed more credible to me. The Hackman character, I just didn't accept at any point. I just thought it was an invention and an excuse, and they finish up with an action sequence that I thought really was not worthy of either of the two performances. It seemed like a very minor, unimportant film to me compared with what we've been getting out of Vietnam, which is some great stories. I thought this was a real mechanical kind of
Well,
exercise.
you know, here he is. He's a colonel. He's on the ground.
I
He's
understand
marooned.
that.
He's got a radio. He's got his little...
That seemed an artifice right away.
Why was it an artifice?
Well,
people do get shot down. Then
I
they're
know
behind
that,
the
and
lines. Then
I'm
they
telling
have to be rescued.
And I know. And
they're sitting there with a radio. It's not an artifice. It's what happened.
I think what they built up is a very big artifice around this very little simple story. If it had been played out with the other people coming in, the bombing coming in, I think if they had simply stayed with the two men and explored just the relationship between the two men.
They do stay with the two men right to the end when they get in and try to get him out just before the bombing comes.
At that point, I was really just...
Well, that was so late in the movie, though. You're dismissing all the rest of the movie.
No, I'm not dismissing. I didn't buy... I'm telling you, I thought that they've just built too big a film for a personal story. The scale of the film is too big.
I don't know. Coming up next, Without a Clue, with Michael Caine as a dim-witted Sherlock Holmes and Ben Kingsley as a smart Dr. Watson.
Are you Sherlock Holmes?
I am indeed, madam. Would you like my autograph?
Oh, you put the old man in jail, you did!
A very funny twist on the Sherlock Holmes stories, which have been made in so many ways, the last one being young Sherlock Holmes with the master detective as a boy. The new movie, Without a Clue, has as its premise that Holmes was a creation of Dr. Watson, who was the real brains in the team, writing up the exploits for the magazines of the day and solving the crimes as sort of Holmes' puppeteer. Michael Caine plays a drunken dimwit actor who has been hired to play Holmes. And Ben Kingsley from Gandhi plays the brilliant but frustrated Watson. No one takes him seriously, especially the local police.
This is no time for parlor games. I'm not playing parlor games. This is a matter for professionals.
gotta help me. It's too big, man.
Holmes, you're back. So good to see you. My, this is a clever disguise. A drunken lout. Oh, it's very realistic.
In a private setting, too, Watson is seething with jealousy that Holmes, his creation, is more popular than Watson himself.
You try and fight crime in this city, and all you hear about is Sherlock Holmes. What's he like?
When will you see him next?
Eventually, a crime must be solved by this pair, and it's a forgery case.
Just 2 nights ago, these clever forgeries were exchanged for the genuine plates. Now, if the real plates are in the hands of some foreign power...
Or someone even more treacherous, the kingdom could find itself awash in counterfeit notes. And I don't have to tell you what that would mean.
Yes, you do.
The crime is not the thing here. It's the wonderful performances by Michael Caine and Ben Kingsley. Caine is an adept comedian, and Kingsley is perfectly cast as the bright man consumed with envy. They are so good that they are as entertaining as any Holmes and Watson team I've seen. Sure, the classic old movies are better, but this is a wonderful 2-character comedy.
I don't know. I didn't like it as much as you did, and I think that if you want to look at Holmes' comedies, The 7% Solution from about 10
That's a
years
wonderful
ago
film.
was a better film. The problem here is, once you have the basic gimmick, which is that Watson has hired this drunken actor to play Holmes, then I would have gone with that relationship for the whole movie. But once that is established, the movie just turns into, as you correctly said, a movie about a crime that isn't very important. These counterfeit notes and various suspects and Professor Moriarty and so forth. And it becomes just another Sherlock Holmes adventure. It could have exploited this twist better.
Well, Roger, it could be a better film. I'm not saying it's a great film, but I think that those guys are in the film, in those scenes, an awful lot. This is like a replay of the argument we just had about Bad 21. But I think that they're in those scenes a lot, and that's what I was watching, and that's what I was laughing at. I don't think that you can fault either performance.
I will give you the performances. I'm just not giving you the screenplay, which I think could have been a little wittier and a little bit more complex.
I think it could have been better.
Yeah,
I still think it's good enough to see.
Okay,
When we come back, we'll review Mystic Pizza, the story of 3 girls, 3 guys, and several broken hearts, and 1 pizza parlor.
If you really...
Connecticut, and the 3 girls who work behind the counter. They're all good friends. 2 of them are sisters. And all 3 of them have recently graduated from high school and started on a fairly rocky journey through adulthood. Of course, for all of them, that means taking a chance on love and broken hearts. One of the girls, named Daisy, falls in love with one of the rich summer kids, and in this scene, she thinks she's caught him dating another girl.
My car! It's beautiful! What are you doing? Greenwich, my ass!
Daisy, look. Daisy, this is Serena Windsor, my sister. Serena, this is Daisy Arujo.
Daisy. Hi.
Another girl, JoJo, is in love with a local fisherman, but he's saving himself for marriage.
Your parents' place, my parents' place, your sister's apartment, the damn John at the pizza parlor. What, Jake? I'm telling you, Joe, that I love you. Doesn't that mean anything to you? I think that when people love each other, they should make a commitment.
The third girl, Kat, babysits for a 30-year-old married architect and develops a big crush on him.
I remember exactly how I felt when I started Yale.
How did you feel?
But great. I mean, it was so exciting. I felt like I was really gonna live.
And you did, didn't you?
Yeah, sure, here I am. Ah, Kat, stuff happens. What can I say?
Mystic Pizza is not a gimmick movie about a lot of cute girls and their romantic adventures. It's a movie about growing up and learning some lessons and getting to be a little older and a little wiser. One of the best things about the film is how they found 3 such talented young actresses to play the 3 most important roles. Julia Roberts is the girl who dumped the fish, Lily Taylor is the girl there who's afraid of marriage, and Annabeth Gish is the babysitter in love with the older man. All 3 actresses have heart, humor, and conviction, and the movie is a good experience, a warm experience. I don't know what I expected from a movie named Mystic Pizza, but what I got was a slice of life.
Absolutely, 3 slices, actually, which is enough for a good meal. I think that you end up just trying to pick which is the most favorite character you have. And the last time I did that with a youth film was American Graffiti, going all the way back. Which coupling was the most interesting? For me, I think it was the young girl, Kat, and the architect. That caught me as a surprise. I've seen, and we've all seen, the glamorous girl from the wrong side of the tracks with the rich guy before, and it's done very well here. I don't mean to demean that, but that little extra bit shows the fullness of this picture, that they got every character right.
Do you remember a film from a couple of years ago called Desert Bloom with John Voight that took place in Nevada, right?
I happen to love that film.
Annabeth Gish is the actress who played his daughter in that film, and this is another role for her.
You didn't like that film as much as I like that
but I like Annabeth Gish as much as you like her.
Well, then if you, we're both recommending this picture.
Yes, we are.
Pizza, please rent Miss Desert Bloom and see it again. You'll like it.
I'll give that some thought. Coming up next, a bunch of old and new cartoons, short ones, edited into a feature called Daffy Duck's Quackbusters.
Yes, please, anything. If Porky Pig reporting for duty, noble leader.
Quackbusters, and coming on the heels of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, it may signal a revival of the American cartoon. But even if it doesn't, this is one very entertaining and clever compilation of vintage Warner Brothers cartoons edited together with new scenes into a parody of the comedy hit Ghostbusters. This time, it's Daffy Duck and not Bill Murray in the lead. Before he starts busting ghosts, however, Daffy wins a lot of money by making an old man laugh so hard he dies and wills Daffy his fortune.
And to my beloved mascot, Daffy Duck, who has given me much solace in my final days, I leave the bulk of my financial assets, with the provision that Daffy use the money to exemplify the highest spirit of American free enterprise and display honesty in all business affairs.
Success at last!
I love those boardroom glances. With Bugs Bunny as one of his helpers now, Daffy goes into the ghost-busting game, but Daffy treats his helpers poorly, and the ghostly spirit of the old man starts to take his money back.
Where is that stupid rabbit? He was supposed to be here an hour ago. They'll think he's such a big star.
Not again.
What'd I say? What'd I say? I know. It was what I said about the rabbit, right? Well, I take it back. He's a swell rabbit. He'll be a valued and trusted associate. All right, I'll make him vice president.
Now here, the movie lists a scene from last year's hit Daffy Duck's cartoon, The Ducksorcisters. Daffy visits a demonic female duck who really needs help.
Okay, so where's the fire? It's in the oven, I presume. Whoops. My mistake. Nothing a little Uzi off couldn't fix. Must be the frost-free kind. Whew.
That's great stuff. And what you've seen is new footage, but the film also includes vintage footage mixed in, spanning 40 years of Warner Brothers cartoons, directed mostly by the great Chuck Jones. Also appearing in the film, Porky Pig, Sylvester the Cat, and Tweety Bird. They're the support troops. The pure comedy of some of the vintage material here, especially the simple line drawings of that old cartoon stuff, is just striking to see again as an adult. But the bottom line, of course, is that these cartoons, even stitched together, still make one laugh.
Well, I think you put your finger on the thing that bothered me about this movie, and that is the stitching together. Warner Brothers cartoons were all exactly 6 minutes long, not 1 second longer or shorter. That was exactly what their rigid requirement was, and they were made to be 6 minutes long. And when you take a little bit here and a little bit there and stretch it out to an hour and a half, what you get is a movie that, strangely enough, doesn't seem to have any overall pattern or momentum. It seems like kind of a guided tour of various disconnected segments. And that's why Chuck Jones, the man that you give credit to, isn't really one of the fans of this film, even though they took his work. Basically, they plundered it. They went through and created a film that didn't exist. And the movies that are more fun are the ones like the great Bugs Bunny movie, which is essentially an anthology of these perfectly made 6-minute cartoons.
Well, you didn't like this?
No, not that much, because I don't think it paid off the way the 6-minute form, which is as rigid a classical form as you can have, did deliver.
Well, if you want to see a compilation of those 6-minute cartoons, you can go and find them. I mean, go to a museum if you want to. I'm saying what this exists and how it exists, I found very entertaining.
Well, I
don't think that they've done a travesty to those other cartoons. Those other cartoons exist. I like what they brought.
I'd rather see a festival of each one of the cartoons in this movie, seen from beginning to end.
Roger, I'd like to go to the movie. I'd like to go to the movies and see those cartoons before each movie. But the people who run the movie theaters won't do that.
Yeah, but you do have such a thing as home video.
Then I'll rent them. But I'm saying that this entertained me.
Okay, now let's take another look at the movies we reviewed this week. We gave 2 big thumbs up for Things Change, the ingenious David Mamet comedy with great performances by Don Amici and Joe Mantegna. We disagreed, though, on Bat 21 with Gene Hackman behind enemy lines. I liked it, but Gene thought it was overblown. Another disagreement on Without a Clue with Michael Caine and Ben Kingsley in a twist on Sherlock Holmes. Gene enjoyed the acting, but I thought they didn't do enough with the gimmick. We both really liked Mystic Pizza with its 3 memorable teenage girls learning about life and love. And finally, another disagreement on Daffy Duck's Quackbusters. Gene thought it was funny, but I didn't like the way the cartoons were stitched together. And so, Things Change and Mystic Pizza.
Yeah, they could be top 10 of the year films. I think one of them is for sure for me, and that would be Things Change. That's it for this week. Next week, a special show in which we'll discuss 2 ways to see the movie E.T. on home video, plus a look at some other long-awaited movies now on tape and disc that represent the way the home video market is changing. That's next week. And until then, the balcony is closed.